Imagine flipping through your favorite novel just to find out it's written by AI. That sounds like a betrayal, isn't it? But hold on to this idea and think about it. Can AI really write the tales in a way that you don't need to pull up your sleeves and work long nights to write something? And just an idea from you can write a bestseller. Let's find out. Hey everyone, this is Gaurav, and today we are trying to answer one important question. Can AI write the bestsellers? Can it create those feelings, those emotions, those thrills, that suspense so that you don't feel like putting the book down? Can it do that? Let's look at it now. So here's the deal. AI is already writing articles, poems, stories, and whatnot. It's becoming so intelligent that in 2019, AI has written a complete poetry collection, and it's called I Am AI. It's so much intense that most of the people are not even able to realize that it's written by AI. How scary is that? How it has done that? So basically it's done by a robot called ART, or you can say artistic robot. And this robot has learned from 20 million words, learned something out of that, and then put together a collection of poems which feels like written by a human. So that's a big deal. But the question is, can it really write scripts as well? Can it write script where it's not just about putting some words together, it's about creating those character which feels real. It's about creating those stories which feels emotional. And it's about creating that atmosphere that you just want to keep on turning the pages of the book and not put it down. Can it do that? So this is where it gets really interesting. AI, by its nature, doesn't have emotion. It doesn't understand joy, sadness, excitement, suspense, or thrill. It doesn't understand all that. So the question is, if AI doesn't understand all that, how it will write something to make us feel those feelings and emotions? There's a catch here. So AI works in a way that it learns based on thousands and thousands, maybe millions of words and text and the data available to it. So even if AI doesn't understand what are the emotions, it understands very well what works, what doesn't work, what has worked in past and what hasn't worked in past. And using that knowledge, AI can write amazing stories. It can weave those emotions together which has worked in past in all those books which AI has learned from, which is very interesting. Imagine this is all based on having no knowledge of emotions, no feeling of emotions. AI can do that. Let me share an example of that. You know ChatGPT very well. It's a super smart AI that can do pretty much everything from answering your random questions to helping you from draft emails. But here's the kicker. ChatGPT has written lots of short story in past. It has mimicked the style of famous author. It has even written a famous suspense of Stephen King novel. It can bring the spine-chilling suspense of Stephen King novels or capturing the heart-throbbing romance of Nicholas Sparks book. ChatGPT is very impressive in all that. However, it's not always that straight. ChatGPT or any other generative AI can sometimes miss those nuances, those small areas which really bring soul to the stories. And missing of those words, those nuances can completely make it robotic and make us feel we are not interested in that. I mean, after binge reading an article or a concept, you can write an essay about it. But will you be able to do the justice with that or not? Exactly, that's what's happening at this stage of ChatGPT. It doesn't end here. Let's talk about creativity now. So when writers write book, they put their own soul, their own feelings and emotion into the book, their own creativity. And that's what keeps us attached to those stories, hooked into those stories. What ChatGPT or any AI does is just work like a parrot. Learn from everything you are telling it and then just weaving some words together, which might solve some problems. But when it comes to writing novel, you will miss that soul of the artist, of the author, that personality. It can bring new personalities which you may not be able to relate with. But it's so difficult to bring a real human personality who has felt the emotion themselves before writing those into the words. There's an example here which I'd like to share. Here's a cool fact about it. In 2018, an AI novel called I, the Road, which mimicked the style of Jack Kerouac, On the Road, was published. Now what AI did in this case, got trained on Kerouac's work and tried to generate a road trip novel. The result, it was interesting but lacked the depth and the voice that only a human could provide. So where does it leave us after all this conversation? The question is, can AI replace the authors in future? Probably not. At least not in the near future. But can AI become a smart assistant of most of the authors to write bestsellers? Hell yes. Why? It's a smart assistant which can do a lot of crunching, collecting data, gathering information, putting it together kind of work can be done very easily by AI or ChatGPT in this case. Is so powerful that it can reduce the amount of time an author need to spend in writing the book, so that author can just focus on the overall plot, on the emotions, on the main idea of the book, rather than just trying to find out that perfect right word which will convey the emotion in that moment in the best way. AI can do that for you. Let me tell you an example here. I'm just reading it here. In 2016, a short novel was co-written by AI and was shortlisted for Japanese Literary Award. The AI, along with the human co-author, wrote this novel called The Day a Computer Writes a Novel. I mean, the original title was something different in Japanese, which you can see on my screen, but that's what the meaning is. And there's another example of this famous writer called Robin Sloan, American writer, who used AI to write short stories first to speed up the work of writing, and then using those draft stories and converting them into his own narrative, and that has been very successful. So how do you feel about it? Like, would you like to read a book written by AI, or you will completely hate that? Let me know your thoughts. What I can say, what my thinking is, so it's almost similar to when the recording of sound was invented, artists were no longer was required to sing live every time you want to see their performance. You could hear them singing from the recording, but that doesn't mean that you don't want to go to sing the live concert. You still want to do that, but the recording of those songs has a value as well. So if AI will turn into an author, that doesn't mean the real author will lose their value. Hope you're getting the analogy. It's not straight one-to-one analogy, but I'm kind of trying to show you that AI will be able to make it easier for author to write, but I don't think it can replace the author until those days when AI can feel its own original emotions, not just be able to work as a parrot and get trained on some data. If you like this idea, if you like these thoughts, please subscribe, like, share. If you don't like it, let us know what you didn't like. It's so important that we all talk about AI because the world is changing, and with this changing world, we need to change ourselves as well. We need to learn about it, we need to talk about it, we need to brainstorm about it. Then only we can get over this powerful technology AI, and that's why I make all this video. Hope you like it. I'll see you again in the next one. Till then, camera closed and heart open.